Well, welcome everybody back again. Got a little informative video for anyone that has an older Polaris that does not come with a tether on it. I ran into a situation this last winter and could have used a tether. The machine got away from me and it went down an incline that it wasn't too hard to get out, but if I'd had a tether I could have pulled it and stopped it. So I got on eBay, found an aftermarket Kimpex tether. And you can see it right here. And this is where I installed it. It was pretty much a flat surface here, but you can see that the right now I just got it hooked to the key just so that got a place to hook it, but it's got this little rubber cover, and then when you pull on and you fall off or whatever, that comes off, and that little button in the middle comes up and it shuts your ignition off. So you gotta push it on and secure it well, like that. But how do you wire it? And that was my dilemma. And so I looked at some videos and I really didn't explain anything on the older machines. So I figured it was connected to this on-off switch some way, so I took this plastic off and located the wires coming out of here, and I also looked in my manual and it showed the schematic for it, and there is a brown and a black wire that comes off of this switch. It goes down your handlebar and then it comes out through this setup. You can see the brown wire right there on top. Black wire is down back behind it. But anyway, I went over to the switch, and the switch has a brown and a black wire that go into this switch. So I thought I'll give it a try, and this is the plug for the tether. This is what came with it. Holding that flashlight in my mouth. Had two spots and had a plug, and this was bought for a Polaris, but apparently doesn't fit this one because there's no plug-in to put it in. So I ran two wires off of that. I put one wire into the black. Oops. Looking at it, you look through the camera here, and then one wire, you can see it's kind of bare right there, the insulation broke off of it, but anyway, that goes into the brown wire. And so that's how I hooked that up, and just wire tied everything in place with some wire ties and started it up, and it works. So I don't know if I can demonstrate it for you right now because I've got a low battery. Well, it is pretty well charged. I could try. So stand by. Let me get this out of here, and then we'll give it a start, and I'll show you what it does. Okay, let's start it up. I have the airbox off of it right now. I was doing some adjusting on the carburetors and things of that sort, and I just haven't put everything back together yet. But let's see if it'll start up here, and I'll show you how this tether works. So when you're riding, you have this clip to your person, like that, and you fall off, this thing here goes and it shuts it off. And it's a safety feature so that your machine doesn't run away with you. And like in my case this past winter, it would have been handy because I lost control and I slid off the left side of my seat. I took and squeezed this because I was trying to hang on, and it went wide open, and that made it even worse. And I was trying to get out of I was on an incline like that, and I was going down, and it was going down towards a tree line, and so I had to, I finally forced myself to take my hand off the throttle. But if I would have had that, I could have easily just dived off the side, and it would have shut the sled off, and it wouldn't have gone, you know, much further. It would have went a little bit, but I mean, it wouldn't have probably gone as far as it did. But anyway, it was just, I thought this is probably something good to have. You know, it didn't come with it, and like I said, this is a 1996 Polaris Classic, and so I have one on it now, and I haven't, I'm still working on the suspension here. I mentioned in my last video that I made some dualies for it. I'll show you what they look like when they're installed. And there they are. And so we're going to see how this works. I don't know. It's got to be better than it was. I checked my toe in, and everything just checks out right. And so one other thing that I did that I noticed, I had a little play in the skis. The skis wanted to, you know, flop back and forth, so this bushing I found some on eBay, and you can see there's still a bit of play in the spindle itself, but there's going to have to be a bit of play. I mean, it can't be perfect, you know. It's a 96. It's got about 6,000 miles on it, so it's going to have some wear. But I got new bushings for each side, and then I got new bolts, because the bolts would tend to wear too. But everything's greased, and so I'm going to put it all back together, and of course we'll have to wait until next year to see how everything works. But I have replaced all the heim joints, the inside, or outside and inside. And like I said, there was a bushing down in here I replaced that had some wear in it. A new heim joint here. And then I tightened that steering column down a bit. So I took a lot of the slop out of it. So along with these dualies, I think we're going to be tracking down the trail without a whole lot of effort, I'm hoping. So anyway, that's all I got. I'm starting to ramble here. Just an update for those that want to install a tether switch on an early Polaris. So that does not come from the factory with one. And I did not see a plug anywhere that you could hook onto. So I don't know if the particular models differed. That with this one, maybe it just didn't have a setup that you could do that with. But anyway, we made it work. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next round.